Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome yet again to another episode of your favorite sports betting podcast. That's right, it is time for another one. Oh, and it's going to be a fun one. It is Jump the Sharp. And I'm so excited. I'm your host, by the way, Brian Hollywood Hagan. So pumped up, multitude of reasons. Probably the number one. And this is not a shit on the folks that helped us out last week, but it's so good to see you and have back. It's the Woodman, David Woody, back in town. How are you, sir?
Good. Last week the part of Dave Woody was ably played by Joseph Dominic O'Brien and Russell Nicholson. But I think that it's nice to be back, and I'm especially pumped to be back for this particularly this program.
Yeah, you were saying before we went live, you were like, man, I think this week and next week's shows are my two favorite. And oh, they're so fun. So fun.
Up there. I mean, Super Bowl might be both of our favorite just because there's so many fun little prop bets that they put up that you can't do in any other time of the year.
Nope.
And it's just like so silly and fun,
Speaking of silly and fun,
Super Bowl almost feels like a treat. Like, all right, you made it through the whole season. We're going to give you this gift of like, you could go absolutely fucking ham.
And boy, do we. And boy, do we. But yes, well, it was a fun time last week. Thank you once again to Joe O'Brien of the Glass Cannon Network and Russ, a.k.a. Muscles Marinara. We'll be talking about him a little bit later. If you remember, we premiered the segment.
Beautiful job, guys.
Thank you guys very much. It was so good to have you back on the show, and we will once again in the future. But right now, it's the Woodman in Hollywood just going to do our thing and put the pedal to the pigskin metal. But yeah, at Jump the Sharp on Twitter, that's where you'll find us. And hey, and now on YouTube, giddy up, you know it. I mean, we've been very happy with the way our first few shows have performed on YouTube, and very excited to keep going in this prominent field, if you will, to try and get some more exposure here. But anybody that has come across the show, whether it be YouTube or Jump the Sharp. And to be honest with you, I think I probably haven't done as good enough job as I should to just mention, we're a podcast. So follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search Jump the Sharp. We're anywhere, Apple, the whole nine. Leave a review, give a what's up. Even on YouTube, a like and whatnot. You know how all that is. But the subscribers, we need to get to that 100 so we can go ahead and get that custom URL. That'd be great. So please subscribe. If you're watching this, you dig it, please subscribe.
Thank you. Yes, agreed. And thanks for everyone who does.
Big time.
We were talking very briefly before we hit the button to start.
We
were trying to we were puzzling a little bit, Brian and I were, about why, what is it that makes some people want to watch podcasts on YouTube and others like myself, and I think you, would prefer to listen to them while I'm doing other things. And I just thought of something.
All right.
I bet it's a generational thing.
Okay.
Because you and I did not grow up with screens that could just do whatever we wanted them to do. We grew up with, there's 4 TV channels. I didn't have cable, right? For me, growing up, there was 4 TV channels, and if the president was on, you were fucked. You know what I mean? He was on every channel. You couldn't watch anything.
Especially our lifetime. We've had some shitty ass presidents, but
even if you're a kid, you don't care if the president's good or bad. You don't want to watch him.
I bet Nixon would have been even if you didn't like him. You're like, oh, he's on. I'm watching this.
Well, he'd been so sweaty.
Yeah,
but I think, if people who grew up with screens, maybe they want to see us interacting. They're just used to consuming content on screens. And
how about that?
I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe that's the reason why.
Oh, big time. I think it's got validity out the wazoo, but so
it doesn't really affect us and is a kind of a non sequitur to what we were talking about. So.
Hey, I'll tell you what, to do a little callback on what we started out on, the next week's show. Next week is so fun. It is the NFL Futures Spesh, which is
we killed it last year.
This is our NFL team wins over-under. We're going to go through every fucking team in the NFL and say what we feel about their over-unders. And as we go, this is probably why we're really looking forward to this. We've never done this particular show before,
right?
In the history of our show. But we started just after probably about a couple months ago, wrapped up a show, was doing some post production, and I was just shooting the shit with you and saying, "Oh, look at this over under. Ah, what would you take on that?" You would say something, I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, I agree with that totally." "Oh man, look at this over under," and you were like, "I think this way," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And then I was like, "Stop right here. We have to do this for a show because I just think it would be." This would probably be the ultimate bar talkish kind of show where we're literally going to fly off the seat of our own pants, but we're going to bring something to the table. And I think by the end of it, and this is the goal, normally we bring you 3 picks, and we are going to give you a baseball pick this week. We promise each, by the way. But by the end of the show, I think what we want to do is accumulate our 3 favorite over-under totals. And then we'll obviously be putting some dough on it. But I want to see how we go. It's going to be a very organic show, probably the most organic show we can do.
Yeah, well, it'll be the first time that our audience gets a chance to see me do the DWE live.
Holy fuck. We have a DWE this week?
Well, I haven't looked at any of the over-unders. I haven't looked.
The DWE. Well, here's the thing. The DWE, it's probably meant for this. Now, for those new on YouTube, the DWE, that is Dave Woody right there. And we have what is called the Dave Woody effect. If you would just kind of gloss, I should say, over it quite quickly.
Sure. Well, my idea was I should pick the spreads I should pick against the spread in football in order to kind of strip out my biases. I would do it blind. So I would look at which teams were playing which team, and I would make my own spreads. And then whichever ones were the furthest away from what the actual spread is, on FanDuel or DraftKings or wherever you do your betting, that's my pick, right? Because that's the one that I'm most far off, from. And it's worked out really well for me. And so the reason I say this is basically that you're getting to see it live here because I haven't looked at these. So this is going to be really fun.
Now, as we go forward with this, would you like me to, with each over-under total, present it to you prior to you hearing the over-under to see what the Dave Woody effect would
like I should guess?
Would you like to do that for the entire show?
I mean...
Or would you like to just kind of say it and you'd be like, wow, I would have thought this, and we'll roll with it and such?
Well, fashion. I'll put it this way.
All right.
DWE would say, I should guess. I should say it.
Okay. All right. Well, we can have fun.
Do you want to do it?
Let's do it. Hell yeah. We only have 32 teams. It's not going to take that long.
No, only a couple of hours.
Holy hell. Well, if we're going to be here for a couple hours, we might as well wet the whistles here. Okay. What I want to say is it's time for America's favorite segment. And that is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, What Are We Drinking?
A little bit of the bubbly.
Woodman, welcome back. What is going down your gullet this evening?
We need like intro music for that segment.
Maybe. Also, by the way, we're coming at a drop. I think Jericho does a pretty sufficient job.
That's true. You're right.
We do. No, the music, we definitely need some kind of, maybe a little brass, a little horn action.
Like a little fanfare kind of for that.
Absolutely.
One.
Anybody wants to do that for us, giddy up. But
just because it's America's favorite segment, really.
And speaking of you, America, and everywhere around the world, and we might have to, now that we're on YouTube, we might have to change this to a...
for right.
What are we? It's Universe's favorite segment. But for those that might be, on YouTube, I go down rabbit holes all the time. I mean, I prefer to do it almost watching anything that's actually on TV if I even have a minute to do so. But oftentimes, especially at night, I will be having a libation to myself and falling down a YouTube rabbit hole or just watching a video. So if you guys are actually watching this right now and have maybe a drink in hand, go ahead and leave a comment. We'd love to know what you're drinking. But right now, seriously, I would love to know what the Woodman is drinking.
Okay, well, so you guys have heard me talk many times in this program about my favorite beer, introduced to me by you, which I think was introduced to you by Muscles Marinara, I'm pretty sure.
This is all working out, I believe.
That was the Wrench, and you've heard me talk about it before. Now, they have several other varieties of Wrench. I think you've had some of them on this show before. I don't think either of us has had this one on the show before, and I've never had this before, period.
Really? What is it?
So this is the Torque Wrench.
The green one. Yes, I've had it plenty of times. I do not know if I presented on this show. I have presented an off wrench, but they have what they call, and quite succinctly, a wrench set variety pack, which is the regular wrench, the Torque, am I really phasing out on that? But anyway, go for that. I'm going to look it up right now.
Can you see that?
Hazy Double IPA. What does it say? Sticky and tropical?
And it says sticky and tropical.
Well, if there's 2 words that fit the Woodman, it's sticky and tropical. Am I right?
Give it to me hard.
Oh, good
I
pop open
got a
there.
little of that, but
Industrial Arts Brewing, I believe.
Industrial Arts Brewing in up in upstate New York somewhere, I think maybe.
I'm kicking myself for this. Okay, it's Pocket Wrench and
Pocket.
Impact Wrench. Oh, the
I
Impact
think
Wrench.
you
Look
had
out.
the Pocket on this show.
I don't think the Pocket because that's their sesh. I believe I brought the Impact as I normally
Maybe it
do.
was the
If
Impact.
I
Maybe it was this one. I don't remember.
fuck it,
Anyway,
who cares?
dude,
Look at it. Oh,
it's
baby,
beautiful.
it's a beautiful
It's
pour.
absolutely delicious. It has it totally get the tropical that it's saying, but
Mm-hmm.
this double.
Let's go. Ooh, the double's going, dude. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. It's so hazy. It's very very carbonated, which I love. And it's got such a beautiful juiciness to it in the
Oh, baby.
mouthfeel and everything. It's wonderful.
Might have to make that a drop with the way you just said juiciness got my bull running. Listen, I think out of all the wrenches, they're all upper echelon. But it's one of those things where it's like, sure, Batman Begins was okay, but nothing beats the original or the Dark Knight. So it's the wrench is the wrench out of all of them. But
Agreed. But this is really
still,
good.
they're all fantastical. I, on the other hand, and I don't know if you presented me with one of these or on the show that is. And I apologize, probably was muscles out there, but somebody brought me onto New Trail Brewing. And New Trail, and this is kind of apropos to the time and place as we are right now. New Trail from Williamsport, PA.
Okay. I think
Right
this
now,
was muscles. I think this is
it
a
might have
muscle
been
special.
muscles. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that one bit. But we're looking at I'm drinking a Williamsport beer here with the Little League World Series going on. Go
That's fun.
Chinese Taipei. We have the Modern West Coast. It is an experimental IPA that it says on it experimental and rotating IPA. I'm not sure what that means, but now I do. Look, I guess now I'm drinking it correctly. As I spin it, let's hear what it's got. Oh, it's kind of a little dull on the openage. Doing a little football show, so go Birds there with the Eagles glass.
All
Do a little
right.
Porsky here. Let me read a little bit up on it. Modern West Coast IPA brings the hallmarks of West Coast clarity and drinkability with its modern East Coast hop aroma and lowered bitterness. All right, say no more. Tell you what, West Coast clarity. If there's any clarity, it's definitely on the West Coast.
Drop down, snap.
It is definitely carbonated. This is like we're at 7% here on the Richter scale. Wow, what do we got going on here? It's weird. It's like I don't know if you can tell here. It's got the bubble. You want to say carbonated. This is super carbonated. You can almost like see through it for being an IPA. I'm not sure what I'm getting at here. It tastes exactly like an IPA if a Miller Lite was an IPA taste. I take that as you see fit. Whether you think that sounds awesome, be like, wow, like this is one of those that's so thin. I mean, it is bubbling at the top that it's so like effervescent almost, and it almost feels like a domestic light beer.
Really?
It's really weird.
Wow.
Do I like it? I'll give it like a 3.75. That would
You like it
still
fine,
good.
but
I
it's
like it.
throwing you
Yeah.
off, kind of.
Yeah. I think that's it. This could be one of those that by the end of it, I'm kind of like, holy shit, I really like this. I was just thrown off, like you said.
You like that?
We'll see, Kirk. I'll tell you what I like though. I like drinking, so I'm going to keep drinking that no matter what. But I also like getting into football officially. Like last week kicked it off, and you weren't here, so it was kind of like a very bittersweet kickoff to the football season. But now we're going to go ahead and take a nice little visit. I mean, you see NFL Network sending their folks to training camps. We're going to visit them all within the next, I don't know, hour or so. You say 2. Holy shit, I hope not. But let's see what we can do here. Are you ready for this?
Ready. Let's do it, baby.
We're going to start off here. And we're using an article to be in fully disclosure that kind of goes in order of divisions.
Yep.
And with that article, they may approach some or bring forth some key additions, key losses. We might not be visiting that a lot, but I want to go in order with that article because it's just going to make things flow better for the show. And they start out off in the apropos to my beer here, a West Coast, the NFC West, to be honest with you, and in particular, the defending Super Bowl champions. So that is the Los Angeles Rams, as you know, Woodman. Over under wins for the year Where would you put that at, sir?
Okay, and again, I haven't looked at any of these. I'm gonna say that Vegas will put them at 12 wins.
Well, see, DWE is looking good. I think most of these, I think all of them, just mind you on this, are going to be at a. Oh, psych! I just clicked on another one and it's not. I was going to say would be at a half, like an 11.5, a 10.5. But no, the other one I checked was dead on one number. LA Rams are over under 10.5.
Really?
10.5, a 17 game season.
Yeah.
Bringing in Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner, two additions that have name prowess for sure.
Maybe both a little bit past their primes.
I'm
right?
not so sure on the production side.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not too. Right? Bobby Wagner was still really very good.
Allen Robinson might have something to prove here.
I mean, sometimes linebackers like Bobby Wagner become more run stoppers as they get older, and they don't have the foot speed to get to sack quarterbacks anymore. But but he's pretty big. He's a bigger.
Boy. Fantastic, as you dubbed, as you would probably dub a future Hall of Famer. I would think. No,
I think so.
Big time. So, so on that, judging by the DWE, you would probably take the over on the 10.5.
I think I'd be over on the 10.5. Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to go ahead and push the button, I would push that over button. Overall, though, I got to be honest with you. The way that the Super Bowl letdowns have been, it's both teams in the Super Bowl normally shit the bed, but especially the winner for years. I mean, in the early 2000s, for years, those teams didn't even make the playoffs.
No, they were like cursed or something. Yeah.
Crazy. So I would take the over if I had to make a bet. This would be a hands off for me. For you, maybe not so much.
Yeah, maybe not so much.
We'll see how the DWE stacks up as we go along here. Next up, by the way, I forgot to say, a gentleman had his last match of his career, and I didn't say that he didn't really kick it off for us in good fashion. So that was the Super Bowl champions. Let's really get down to business.
Let's get down to business.
Thank you, Richard. All right, so we're going to go into Arizona here for the Cardinals. What does the Woodman think on the Cardinals? This is interesting.
It's a tough team because it was like a tale of two seasons, right? They started off 8-0 or maybe even 9-0. I don't remember.
They were something like that.
And then they were, I think they went over. Maybe they didn't win another game.
No, they had a win or two down the stretch.
I don't think so. Maybe one.
They didn't finish 8-8, did they?
I think they finished 8-8,
9-8,
or 8-9, maybe.
I'm gonna look, but
9-8. I bet you they finished 9-8.
Where would you put their record?
Around the same, I would guess.
They were 11-6, by the way. So
okay,
yeah.
So maybe they won their last couple after losing 6 straight, after winning 9 straight.
Giddy up. Math works.
Look, it's not a very good team. I don't think they can win 11 games again. I guess I'm going to say Vegas will put them at 10 and 10. Vegas put them at 10.
Over under 8.5.
8.5. Yeah. Wow. All right. I got to.
They're saying they're under a 500 team. If
I actually agree with Vegas there. I take back what I said. I'm with Vegas. I had them too high. They can't win 10 games. They can't go 10-7.
Obviously, they Marquise Hollywood Brown's on board, but they're without Hopkins for the first 6 games.
Yeah, no Hopkins.
I've got the smell of shit going on, not
Kyler
because
Murray,
of me, but
Kyler Murray has several years in a row had a couple of good games to start the year, and then just been absolutely unwatchable.
He's got the Carson Wentz stank on him.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think
maybe he doesn't give a
shit. I don't think his boys want to play with him.
I think he gives a shit.
I don't think. Yeah. So another stay. I got to get more handsome with these as we go. But 8.5. I mean,
I don't put a lot of under. I don't love that under because
we don't put a lot of stake in Vegas telling us shit. Like there's a lot of sharps that are out there like, oh well, Vegas says this, and I didn't think it'd be close to that. So I'm not even going to go with where I thought. I'm going to go the other way even more.
Oh no,
but no, that this would maybe be an over for me as well. But I can't pull the trigger on that one. I got to put money on this shit. I ain't putting money on that.
I'll consider that Rams over the Cardinals. I'm out. I'm not interested in that at all.
I would agree with everything that you just said there. Now, here's a team that I'm normally tout pretty well. And my boys finally got full reign on Donner, on Blitzen, let Trey Lance run the San Francisco 49ers. Give me a quick over-under on
Did
that.
they trade Jimmy GQ after September
yet.
1st or cut him or something?
Can they? I don't know how that works, but I know that apparently
There's
Seattle's
something
very
that
interested.
happens
But
on September 1st, I believe.
Seattle's waiting for that to happen. They're waiting for a cut, but I still I don't know. But consider him as a non-addition, a subtraction, a key loss.
I cannot understand the mentality of people who are like, Jimmy G's is a winner. He's taken him he's put him in Super Bowl contention how many times? Did you not watch the games? Like, you really believe that guy is the reason they were in those positions? That's really what you think? You don't think it was the coach and the defense? Are you sure?
I mean, they even had some people
watching the same game as me. Like, I don't understand that. Like,
offensive line, defensive line, top in the
in the playoffs. Like, in the wins, he's a passenger. He's not the driver. And in the losses, yeah, it's on him, dude. I mean, the way that he played at the end of that Rams game is, if I were a Niners
it's
fan,
almost like you couldn't even say full words because it's so egregious. How about that? Using a big word.
I have a link to a video I'm going to put in the show notes. I'm going to send it to you, Brian. We'll put it in the show notes. I want you guys to watch it. It's like a 1-minute YouTube clip. It's basically his last five. I'll
tell you what, at Jump the Sharp on Twitter, throw it up on there.
Okay, there we go. We'll do that. And it's basically his last 5 snaps.
Could you imagine that? It'd be like, our over under for NFL games. Enjoy the show, guys. And then there's just a random YouTube clip of Jimmy Garoppolo shit in the bed.
He's at midfield down by 3 points against an exhausted defense.
Maybe we should do it.
And it's his last 5 snaps.
Oh, man.
And just watch what he does. Watch what he does. I cannot.
Well, let's
get
off of Jimmy G for a second. Let's focus on who they do have. Okay. We got Trey Lance, my boy, who unfortunately at the last preseason game where people were like, "Oh wait, he's really good actually," but the little screens, the bubble screens he was throwing, and the quick slants to the slot, and the little run up the middle by the tight end he's got to throw. They weren't very crisp throws at all, and they scared me. But everyone thought they were because they were completed.
Yeah.
But when you have your halfback go out to your left and he's running forward, you need to lead him. You don't throw it at him; you throw it in front of him. And stuff like that was kind of scaring me. So it's over under 9.5. Not to jump you on that, but this once again, like if this might be a cute pick for me and a futures pick, not for Super Bowl. No way. But maybe NFC West because I'm not really sold on any of these goddamn teams. But over under 9.5, like once again, they're picking that as a barely a 500 team, 1 game over. So
it feels right to me.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good on that either.
That feels correct to me.
So let's move on here. Next, the other NFC West, the Doldrums. Let me take a shot at this one before I hit click.
Okay.
Because, I don't want to do a lot of giving away of next week's show because I'm looking forward to it. But one of the things, last year, folks, look, full disclosure on this show, we're not scared. We fucking made 34 units last year on the NFL, okay?
That's right.
One of them was certainly not made on my pick for worst record in the league. I picked the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right.
They almost won the whole goddamn thing. They did, but I think that they made the playoffs. But
do you really not remember what they did?
Knock it off. So I'm pretty sure that my pick this year for worst record in the NFL might be the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put their over-under at 6.5, 7 maybe.
I'll say 5.5.
All right, I'm going to say 6.5, and I'm going to hit click. And it's 5.5. Okay.
East.
All right. Yeah, man. But the under is plus money. Like the over is minus 135, under plus 115.
That's interesting.
Maybe they get Jimmy G. Does that actually? You're pretty much saying that no, that's not going to help if they do get him. Would you rather have Drew Lock over Jimmy G?
I don't know.
For you to think about it says something for your thoughts on Jimmy G.
It's the same. I think they're the same.
Over is minus 135. I think the under here is plus 115. I'm gonna just make a little etching here. Seattle, OU, 5.5 plus 115. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Anything from this division.
Yeah.
to be
Well,
honest.
then let's get the fuck out of the NFC
Okay.
West, and we'll move on to the NFC East.
Okay.
We're going home
we go.
here.
Yes,
Except
let's do it, baby.
we're not going where we would want to go to start, and that's in Texas, in Dallas, the Cowboys. Woodman, what do you got?
All right.
What do you think?
The Cowboys, I believe have basically it's just the biggest thing is Amari Cooper's gone.
Mhm.
I
don't think they have. I mean, besides Michael Parsons, I think their secondary's garbage and their defense is trash. But we'll see.
Well, they've got Stephon Diggs' brother, right?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe the most overrated player in the league. Sorry,
Oh, really?
Woodman can't parlay. To me, yeah, and that's a Bama guy too. Roll Tide, but
You don't.
no.
What's he like? You view him like an Asante Samuel type?
Exactly correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have seen this clip of him in practice the other day. He had literally he ran where the guy was standing, and instead of like turning around to the ball or whatever, just stood there with his arms up like this, and the ball went over his head into the guy's arms above his head and caught it and ran, and he looked like a deer in headlights. I was like, for you to even have that as a possible instinct, as a top 100 player, as the NFL Network would call him. But nevertheless, we're not picking on a guy here. I'm just saying,
look,
Dallas Cowboys over under wins.
It's not an amazing team, but the thing is it's a pretty weak division, right? We have two teams in this division that I think are not good. So
really bad.
Quite bad, right? So I think that they'll probably be able to roll to about 10 wins. So I'm going to say 10 is what they have it at.
Good call, man. 10.5 they have it at.
Yeah,
they have the over, however, at plus money, plus 105. The under is minus 130. So
yeah, that's tempting. Maybe you could look at their strength of schedule. Like, who else do they play?
Yeah.
You know, and maybe like think about it over there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that off the board as well. 10's perfect. Here's one that I think we both might want action on, and we'll see about that.
Okay.
Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Our hometown team. You're wearing the Super Bowl 52 shirt. You got the green lights going all around your noggin.
Yep.
And we're sitting here probably going to do some. Okay, so
I
where
can't
are you?
imagine they win more than. What's Vegas going to put it? 7.5?
No, it's 9.5.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
See, okay,
you're really
I'm very interested
on them.
I'm very interested in that under.
Yeah, so they won 10 last year. Or was it 10 or 9? What did they make the Johns with? Let's see here. The playoffs.
I thought it was 9, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'll have to. Oh no, wait, here it is. But yeah, so 9.5. Yeah, 9-8. They were 9-8 last year. Do we think that they're a better team now? I think that their offensive line got some help. Cam Jurgens, all that jazz. Kelsey's coming back. Another year for our boy Jalen Hurts. But look at AJ Brown.
Here's what I'll say about it: they can't do what they did last year. They won't. Defenses are not going to let them get away with that again.
Man, I can't believe I'm writing this down.
So most of the wins came when they decided they were too terrified of Jalen Hurts trying to throw the ball, and they would let him throw the ball 9 times a game, and every other play was just a run.
Mm-hmm.
And that's most of the wins, right? They can't do that again because defenses will have had a whole offseason to study how they did that. Okay? So at some point, they're going to have to let Hurts actually throw.
Yeah,
and that's not going to go very well.
No. I mean, I get it. AJ Brown can go get some balls, but
I think I've got a pick here.
Under 9.5 wins is plus 110. Let's just say that. Fuck. Next, the Washington Commanding Generals of the Commanders. Of the Skins of Commanding.
It's a very, very bad offense. I guess it's probably going to be like one of the. What does Vegas do with the team like this? They probably put them at 7.
This is an unfortunate line because that's exactly probably where they should put it. They should make this 7.5. They have it at 8.5, but they have the over at plus 145 and the under at minus 170. Vegas, FanDuel, I should say. Like, come on, just make it a 7.5 and make it even juice.
Yeah, make it impossible for us to take that damn under.
Here's the one thing I want to say about the over under for wins. It sucks because you could do like parlays on player futures and MVPs and stuff. You cannot parlay over under wins. I was really bummed about that. I checked on DK too. DraftKings does not allow it either.
You'll have to just bet more money.
You want to look at that again?
No, I'm telling you, Vin.
I'm just looking at this article. It says Carson Wentz adds $28 million to their cap for this year.
What a total. That dude's a
They'd have
D-bag,
been
okay?
better off, honestly, with Jimmy G, probably.
I don't
but-
think I've ever seen, it's funny, we're talking about Kyler Murray. I was saying it smells like Wentz. Like, I've never seen personnel, I want to say it like that, personnel and front office members despise a player so much. I mean,
Yeah.
the offensive
Agreed.
line, the wide receivers, like people actively didn't want to play with him. They loved Nick Foles. If Carson comes back healthy to play the Super Bowl, we don't win that game.
No.
You look at was it Chris Ballard or the GM for the Colts and the owner, that when the season was over against Jacksonville, they were like, just want to let you know you're not coming back next year. And he was like, oh, why? Just get your shit and get the fuck out of Indianapolis,
Well,
please.
I've certainly never seen it in that way. So
Right.
what happened was
He's even said he's been on sorry to cut you off, but he's been on record. He came out in like an interview and was like, yeah, I just showed up and they said you got to go, and I said why, and they were like, just you got to go.
It's very unusual, and it was even weirder because statistically he had really had a pretty decent year.
I mean,
Almost
Joey talked about it last week with the
he
interception
did,
call,
but he was right. He was right. He really was quite good, and he had some really good games, some not great games. It was like overall, like his stats for the year were pretty good, and like if you watched their wins, he played well. He played pretty well. He always had a big league arm, dude. He has a good arm. You know what I mean? When he sees it and he wants to put it where it should go, he can put it there. He's got a big arm.
Absolutely.
But that last game against such an awful team that had no reason to beat you, and he played
branded in people's minds
so badly,
and that's a stupid falling down interception and all that.
And it was literally that one game. The entire city, franchise, front office, all the players, fans, everyone was like, "No."
The final score of that game is his career epitaph. You know what I mean? Like it is what
was
everybody will remember, that they lost that game to Jacksonville because Carson Wentz tripped on a friggin' shoestring and threw a
So I would definitely be on the under 8.5 here, except that I don't like the juice, so I'm not going to take it.
We're not going to roll with that because the juice is ridiculous. But otherwise, yeah, giddy up. But if you could find in other outlets something around that, I mean, fucking, they're saying that's one off from being over 500. So hell no. I mean, I got news for you. Maybe I'm not going to sit here and we don't do that here often. We're not going to make a minus 170 as a pick of the show. But
no.
Under 8.5. I mean, that's pretty damn near stealing money. If you got it. New York Giants, the football Giants of New York here, to round out the NFC East. Some of these I'm just going to say the over-under, but some of them I want to know your DWE going in, if that's okay.
Sure.
For the sake of the show.
Okay.
But this one I do want to hear your thoughts.
Sure. Yeah. I think the Giants are probably worse than the Commanders because I think they're even worse on defense. And I don't think Daniel Jones is any better than Carson Wentz. Daniel Jones is so awful.
I mean,
if you watch their games, he's just awful.
He's not a friend of our show. Let's put it that way.
Stinks.
We fucking hate him.
He just can't play, man.
Not hating him, but like, oh, God damn it, Daniel Jones again. No, Daniel Jones sucks. Like, he shouldn't be out there.
He's not good. Yeah, this is a bad team. It's a bad roster. 6 games. 6-11 is what they should go this year.
That's probably correct. Also, I would say we'll talk about it next week. Over under 7.5, and they have the over at plus 125, the under at minus 145. Once again, they're getting the juice on the bad NFC East team. I think both the Commanders and the Giants are maybe like 4-win teams.
Honestly, it could be, but I don't want that kind of juice.
I will say that I do think.
Although maybe I can get really nice juice on like if I do an alt. Are there alts? Could I do? Oh, there are no such thing.
No.
That'd be fun. Right. I wonder what I would get if I was like, all right, give me under 4.5.
Yeah.
I wonder what you could get.
And maybe they should give it
to me hard.
if the possibility arises, no pun intended. All right, let's move on once again to the north side of the NFC. And this might be a pick of mine. I haven't even hit the button yet. I'm going to go ahead and make a guess here, Woodman. If it's HWE time.
You make a guess. What do you got?
Green Bay Packers. And a lot of people have these guys as their Super Bowl pick, and I'm, Father Time's catching up, and you're doing some weird changes, and you're thinking, a lot of people think that, come see, come saw. oh, Aaron Rodgers taking some psychedelics while everyone's just going to fucking kumbaya to the Super Bowl. I don't get it. Like Green Bay is like, it's Green Bay, Rams, and Bucks are everybody's Super Bowl pick. And I'm not there on literally any of them. I don't really have mine yet, but I'm not where everybody is. So that being said, I think they're going to have Green Bay. Well, they had the Rams at 10.5. Yeah, they're probably, I'm going to say 10.5.
I'll
It
say
is 10.5.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
nice.
I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's great.
Now, here is where I'm at. Pick added to my paper. Green Bay. Over 10.5 is minus 160. Under 10.5 plus 135.
You like that?
I'm officially on the.
What is Kirk?
You like that?
Yeah.
There it is. Don't tempt me. I mean, I the mouse has to get involved. I got to find it there, David.
I'm sorry.
They're
They're gonna really miss Devontae
struggling.
Adams. They're really gonna miss him.
I'll take the. Who's to say they're not going to be 10-7? That's fine. I just don't anticipate. I mean, 11 wins, 11-6 isn't that far off. I get it, but
it's tough. To
Green
go
Bay
11 and
officially
6.
is
Yeah.
Green Bay officially is one of my picks at under.
Nice.
I want to make some money on this season too, so I'm going under 10.5 at plus 135. That will be on the ticket for Hollywood. What do you think, Woodman? What's your thoughts?
I'm not as confident as you to
Okay.
take it as one of my picks, but I like it, and I think it probably will hit.
Yep.
Their defense is gonna have. I think their defense is gonna be on the field a lot. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a really tough time finding people who can actually hold on to the ball, even when it hits them right in the hands.
I gotta have a drop for that. But the thought of this Dobbs guy, Dobbs, this wide receiver, like they picked the cat from North Dakota State, and they thought he was going to come in and be king shit. But apparently, this other kid's like premiering big time in camp, and they think that he's now third or fourth in offensive rookie of the year like voting. And
you got to be careful with the camp stuff. I remember
big time.
There was a time when Amira Abdullah was like a second round pick in fantasy because of one cut that he made in preseason. Okay?
I fell for that.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying.
So, where would you side on this, or is it's a stay off for you at 10.5?
Yeah, it's a stay off for me. I think that's about right.
Right.
But if I were going to be on to one side of it or the other, I'd probably be with you.
Love the under.
I'd lean the under, but it's not one of my picks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of mine. So, kind of like a underground favorite. This team's kind of coming out of the woodwork to be a fan's choice, if you will, of the winner of the NFC North. I think they're at like plus 350 for it or something around there. But it's the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke Patrick.
Yeah.
Jump the Sharp alum.
He's excited about this team.
That's good. I would love though. I wish I could have actually got a little quip from him to play for the show about them. But we can always shout out to Luke and maybe have him on the show soon. But the Vikings are over under. What do you want to put them at, Woodman?
It's a great question.
Really is.
New coach, new GM, and most of the same players actually. So it's kind of fun, right? They have some really special players on this team.
They really do,
especially Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. I'm gonna say the Packers were 10.5.
Yeah,
I'll say 9.5.
They are 9.5. Good call. Very good call. And the thing about this is, I think that if you are on the side of the Vikings have a legit shot to win this division, which basically, by the way, note to self, it's a 2-team division. There's not 4 teams in the NFC North.
Yeah, it's true.
It's fucking 2 teams. So, and it's barely, by most people's standards, a 2-team division. Most people think it's a 1-team division. I don't. Vikings were actually my pick to win the NFC North last year. Didn't really work out. They got out of the gate terribly. But I think it's different this year. I think it's more of a we have nothing to lose kind of feel. And with teams like that, most of the time, when a team is approaching a season in that nature, they don't have that much talent. The Vikings are approaching this season in such a way, and they are stacked.
They're pretty stacked
with talent. And
Irv Smith is good.
I mean, yeah, he's coming back. He was out all last. Yeah.
Adam Thielen's pretty good still.
You
Even
still
a
got
little
some
bit
defensive
older.
players too.
And they still have some defense. But I mean, it's a good team.
Harrison Smith and all those cats.
Harrison Smith is still there, isn't he?
I'll take the over on that. This is even money. Or I'm sorry, not even money. It's regular juice either way. Over 9.5, under 9.5 is minus 110.
Okay.
I'm going to veer on the side of the Vikings NFC North pick because, I mean, 2 games over 500, you're there.
I'm with you.
7,
I wrote it down as well. I'm on the over here. I think they can do this even if the Packers win the division. I think they can be right there with them and still hit this over.
Big time. Yeah, I like that.
And I'll just add that one of the things that makes me lean towards it is I think the players seem really excited about the new regime.
Totally.
And I think you hit it on it, kind of. You said like they might be just play loose, which would be really cool to see if they do.
Yeah, they got when you
that's
see a
probably
team like
worth
that
3 wins right there if they're going to be loose all year.
Maybe. I'll tell you a team that might not have 3 wins: the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, now this is a good bet to be the worst team in the league. They've lost their best player.
Oh my God! I just fucking ran into probably my favorite one of the night. What do you think?
Mack was by far, it's not even close, their best player. I don't even know who you would say could be second.
I don't even think. Dude, we
and
got
he's gone, right?
The Bears here, over under 5.5 is the line. And guess what? The over is minus 145. Under plus 125. Some team, listen, folks, when it comes to the draft next April, there's going to be like 3 or 4 teams in the beginning of that draft that have won either 2, 3, or 4 games.
Yeah.
There's going to be like 3 or 4 of those teams that have that many wins. If I'm going to tell you right now that 4 teams in the NFL didn't win 5 games, or I'm sorry, scratch that, didn't win 6 games, tell me that the Bears aren't going to be one of those teams.
Of course, you'd be most confident in the Bears.
Justin Fields sucks. All right.
I don't think we can really know based on last year. He had no chance.
Do you remember the rundown I did with the draft 2 years ago? Our draft Spesh with the with the quarterbacks that came out of OSU.
You're not a big fan.
I mean, holy hell.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields especially, I just don't see it.
Fucking thing sucks.
I mean,
I'll take the under on this.
Their wide receiver 2 is Byron Pringle.
Their wide receiver 1 is Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough year. And
David Montgomery isn't I love him. You know, he's my boy. He's one of my boys.
I don't love him,
and I know, but I like him as a kind of stay-at-home running back, meaning a powerhouse running back,
steady powerhouse for sure.
A yard after contact kind of running back.
Sure.
And what's that going to do for this kind of fucking team? You need a Brian Westbrook out there.
Yeah,
you need an Alvin Kamara. You don't need a David Montgomery.
When the Bears had a crappy passing offense, but they had Matt Forte.
Then there you go.
A little better. You could get a few points, right? You could get in a field goal range sometimes because Matt Forte would just make something out of nothing.
Absolutely.
I know you love him, but Montgomery's not making a lot out of nothing. If there's
when I say I like him, when I say I love him, I just like the way he plays the game.
Sure, for sure, he plays hard, and if there's nothing there, he'll get you 2 yards.
For sure,
2 yards ain't getting you into field goal range when you're back at the 20. You know what I mean?
I think Justin Fields might have more. Honestly, I think he might be benched by the time it's the turnaround time of the year, the middle part of the season. Justin Fields doesn't have it. He's very awkward. This is going to be This is going to be a possible top 3.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I have 4.
What was it set at? 6?
It was 5.5, but that means they got to get to 6. They're not winning 6 games. If they win 6 games, that means they're 6-11. They're not a 6-11 team. I don't know.
I'm gonna write it down.
I'm not trying to talk you into it. We can bounce one. Now, here's some kind of dandy team here, a little darling team. Everyone's loving the Detroit Lions. You know why? They're on Hard Knocks. Ooh.
Yeah.
So where would you put the Lions here on a DWE style?
May I Google how many games they won last year?
I will do it right for you. How about that?
Okay.
They won. They were 3-13 and 3-13-1. Let's not forget ties here, Donovan McNabb.
Okay. All right,
as he forgot him.
I'll say that Vegas is going to give them 5.5.
I'm embarrassed.
5.5, 6.5 is what they're giving them. And here's the interesting part: the over is the juice side at -125, under +105, under
Very
6.5.
I'm going to write it down as a possibility. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, that's
Under
kind of
6.5 is +125.
It is. No. Under 6.5 is +105. Over 6.5 is -125.
Okay.
If I stated that incorrectly, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I didn't because I normally don't do that kind of thing. Lions. I'm not feeling it one way or the other because I they're the cute one right now. They're the cute team.
I can't see them winning that 7th game. I mean,
yeah.
I guess maybe.
I mean, did Aiden Hutchinson really just put them over the 4-win barrier? Like
they probably beat the Bears
4+
twice.
wins?
They probably beat the Bears twice. So that's 2.
even more so, I love the under for the Bears.
Yeah.
Here, you know what? This brings up a very interesting question. You know what? I'll save it for the end of the show. Remind me. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to give a shout out while we were talking about the Bears. I do want to give a shout out to new friend of the show, new follower on @JumpTheSharp, Steely Yan, my man Pots and Pans, @SlinkyDog on Twitter. He put on our Twitter post earlier today, he said, "Will my beloved Chicago Bears win 7 games?" And I kind of forgot about your post, pal, and I'm so sorry about it because we've been shitting on them. And not only we don't obviously think they'll win 7. I was giddy up about them winning under 5.5. So sorry about that.
I don't share Brian's
hatred
of Justin Fields, but I do agree that it'll be very hard for them to even win 6 because they've given him absolutely no weapons, and their defense isn't going to be that good anymore because they're missing their best player. It's just a really tough situation for your boys, man. I'm sorry. It's going to be a tough year. It's a rebuilding year, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to you for dealing with it. I'll tell you, because we went through some doldrums.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had to sit through Mitch. I feel bad for Bears fans. One of my really good friends is a Bears fan. One of my roommates when I lived out in Vegas, and he said it best. He's like, we just never, ever, ever get a quarterback. Like, you just don't have a quarterback.
The Bears have actually never had a league average quarterback in their whole long history.
Oh my god,
I looked this up. I looked up the stats.
Look, you went with Grossman took you to the Super Bowl. McMahon wasn't good, by the way.
Was very literally the 32nd best quarterback. He was the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Incredible.
McMahon was below average. I looked it up. Statistically, he was below the league averages in every category.
When the Eagles shocked them in what was that, 02 or whatever, it was Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Trubisky.
No, they've been around for 100 years and they've never had a league average quarterback, let alone good. They've never had an average quarterback. Like,
Steely Ann, sorry about that.
Why can't they get a Matt Ryan or,
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
No crowning anytime soon there, Denny. But, all right, so Lions, we're looking kind of at that too. Woodman seems a little bit more huckleberry on that than me. But
we'll give our picks at the end. Let's keep going with like more possibles.
All right. Well, I mean, you talk about going from the out to the penthouse.
Yeah.
We're going to the NFC South, and we're starting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Important to note, Gronk is technically retired now. Maybe he comes back.
Probably. Fucking weirdo.
Probably would be like week 8 or something. Tom would be like,
"We
need you, buddy."
Maybe he'll play football.
Also, they have lost Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh.
Did Jason Pierre-Paul lose another finger, or did he just
blew off another finger on 4th of July again? Yeah.
Jeez, how about that, dude? That guy just
this time,
needs to learn
I don't
a lesson.
know why he wasn't able to explain why he did it, but he took he had a little thing of yarn and he tied the M80 to his pinky.
Wow.
Yeah. They asked him why. He was like, "I'm not sure." So
anyway,
I'll tell you what, that guy needs to learn a lesson on the 4th. You know why he couldn't tell anybody? Because all athletes don't speak anymore; they tweet. And when you don't have any thumbs,
tweetings.
You're not tweeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's Twitterless. So look,
literally, wow.
So the Bucks are fantastic. They have the, I guess, GOAT. I hate to say it. I hate to give it to him, but he's
good for you.
He's proven it. He's proven me wrong and cost me a lot of money in my life. And he's
Don't go listen to our Super Bowl episode 2
You
years
can't.
ago.
You can't take anything away from Tom Brady. You just can't. I'm sorry, you just can't.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
And even last year, the Rams they beat their ass pretty good, and then right at the end, unfortunately for the Rams, Cam Akers fumbled twice, and Brady took advantage both times, and they almost got him.
Almost.
Even in a game where they had kicked the shit out of them all game.
Incredible.
And I don't know. You just can't count this team out. At the same time, the D isn't going to be what it was. I guess. I assume Chris Godwin is still fucked up and not going to play. I don't know. I don't think he's practiced.
He hasn't practiced, but I think that he's going to play. But maybe a couple of weeks
I'm
into
not so
the season.
sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
Mike Evans is like 30 now.
Isn't it crazy?
I guess Gronk's gone. Leonard Fournette's like 500 pounds for some reason. Like,
shout out to Joey O'Brien.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but it doesn't feel like the same team from the last 2 years.
We're going to get caught again, aren't we?
I don't know, but I'm going to try and here's my DWE hat. I'm going to try and put myself in the mindset of Vegas. I think they're going to have this higher than I would put it. So I'm going to say they'll put it at 12.
Okay, it's 11.5.
All right, I'm right there.
The interesting part about it is that the over is plus 105. The under is minus 125. So,
right.
I would have been all over that under. But not when I saw the juice. Like, I'm not willing to roll with that.
If the under was plus, I would be on it.
Or even, even money, I'd be on it. All right, let's get a little fire under our ass here as we go, because we need to move along. The New Orleans Saints are next.
Let's take another couple of hours here.
Oh, fucking A, man. You act like you don't have anything to do tomorrow. You know what I mean?
No, just work 12 hours. No big deal.
Saints, this is interesting. And shout out once again. I want to give some more love. Anybody that wants to go ahead and give us some feedback at Jump the Sharp on Twitter or on YouTube on the comments or even on the podcast with a review, we'll always tout you because we appreciate our peeps. And thank you so much for spending any amount of your time watching, listening, the whole spiel. We giddy up to you. But my man T, that's it, T. But at T-Man Among Boys on Twitter says, we sent out the little tweet, said, your favorite NFL team win over and under for this upcoming season. My man said Saints over 8.5. It is at 8.5. Over 8.5 is plus 105. And if you listen to last week's show, I kind of ran down the offensive prowess that this team has because I have dough on famous Jameis Winston going ahead and taking that passing title this year. I mean, pipe dream it as you will. He's got the firepower there. And who's to say?
He has done it before, in fairness.
He's done it before. Over 8.5. Well, the Saints being above 500 team is basically the only question here. And if you say yes, you're looking at getting more than the money you put back. Or put in back, or back it in, and all that shit. Under 8.5, by the way, minus 125. Woodman, your thoughts?
I love it. I love the over. I think it could
too.
hit. I'm putting it immediately into my maybe pile. What was the juice on it though?
The over's plus 105. Over 8.5.
Yeah, that might wind up being one of my picks. I think that this is a team
across the board.
Well, it's such a solid D. They were very, very opportunistic last year. They had a couple of games where they got really blown out bad, but they had a bunch of games where the under hit in so many Saints games last year. They would just run Kamara a bajillion times. Even before Jameis got hurt, they had gone to a very conservative offense. They would run Kamara and they would just rely on their defense. And their defense, like I said, we could look up the stats, but just my memory of it was anecdotally, they had a lot more good games than bad. That's a very opportunistic, young, fast defense. I would be very concerned about taking this under. I like the over, and I love the plus money.
Yeah, right. You're getting paid off on that, too. What you're not getting paid off is putting any kind of money on this team because no one's ever going to even think about it. And it's the Atlanta Falcons. Under. Oh, geez.
Now, this would be fun. This is a fun one because I think it could be one of these cases where Vegas gets it right. I'm going to say they put it at 4.5.
They put it at 4.5, Woodman. Bang! Look at you on fire. Now, over is at minus 120. Under, even money, plus 100. I'm not touching it.
It's tempting, but no, it's stupid. It's tempting, right? You're like,
I know
How
Mariota's
the
on
hell are they
there.
going to win 4 games? How does it happen? You tell me, write me the story where they win 4 games. And you can't because there's no talent on either side of the ball. It's
Well,
a
no, now
garbage
everybody
team.
thinks Marcus is the boy because he looked good on Monday Night Football.
Mariota.
No reasonable person thinks he's good.
No, he sucks.
Mariota.
And he has no weapons.
Come on, let's hear it again.
Mariota.
Fucking Goodell.
He would
Dumbass.
have had a good receiver, but that guy bet like $8 on DraftKings and is out for the year.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. But the other dude just molested women and just got less than him.
Incredible.
It's insane, isn't it? God damn.
Also, fuck Kyle Pitts, man.
Give it to me hard.
I had him on my fantasy team, right? And he doesn't do anything all year. And then in the last 2 weeks of the year, when my team's already lost, I'm out of it. He has like 100 yards and then like 160 yards. So he finishes the year with 1,000 yards. But he got most of them in games that I was not in. And he caught this many touchdowns. Did not have a touchdown.
Looks like a big 0. Okay, just making sure.
Okay. So
yeah, we do. It's still an audio podcast. Okay, you can't just always tout the.
Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
Well, I'm assuming a lot of our listeners knew that because they play fantasy or something.
That's true. All right, so I'm not touching the Falcons, Sean.
No, we're out of it.
Let's round out. We're going to get out of the NFC with one last team.
Maybe next year for the Falcons when they'll have a rookie quarterback and Calvin Ridley will be back and Kyle Pitts will actually learn how to play.
No, they're going to have a second-year quarterback in Desmond Ridder and think he's great, and then they're going to go down the doldrums again.
Could be.
Carolina Panthers going to round out the NFC conference here, and this is kind of interesting. You got your boy Baker back there. Over/under is set at 6.5. The over is plus money. Go for it. What are you going to say? It feels a little low. What are you going to say?
That feels a little low.
It does. 6.5 at plus 105. Under is minus 125. FanDuel in Vegas not really keen on the Panthers. I don't know about you. I think
that. Yeah.
I think CMC has some action this year.
If he's
not really the best.
If he stays healthy and if Baker Mayfield's shoulder has been surgically repaired all the way, and so he can actually throw now, I can't imagine the under hitting here. I'm not saying I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My strong advice to our listeners is don't take that under.
I'm staying off just because of.
I think I'll stay off.
It could be a blow up. Honestly, season for them in a bad way, like
it could
impound.
Yeah, right. Let's say CMC busts his hamstring again on week 3, and let's say Baker takes a big shot, and that all the screws in his shoulder pop out.
Sam's in there. Look, I'm not the biggest Baker fan in the world anyway. I don't even like him at all. But
I think he's better than Jimmy G.
Well, he's better than Darnold, that's for sure.
He's better than Darnold.
That's what I'm saying. If he gets hurt, then Darnold walks in. And I don't know.
All right, we're halfway through. We've got, I would say, 1 or 1.5 hours left to do the AFC.
Please, jeez Louise. Let's roll here. All right, let's roll.
I'm not going to let you go fast. I have too many things to say.
You do. You're so good at this. I'm just going to say stuff and let you go. I'm literally going to host, and you're going to be I'm the bun here. Go get yourself some meat, okay?
Yeah, you're Robin and I'm Howard. Let's go.
Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to the AFC. One of the highly touted teams, but so many weird personnel moves.
Yes.
Over under 10.5. Over is minus 115. Under is minus 105.
Yeah, look, they're going to miss some of those guys. Certainly Tyreek, but
Tyron.
Yeah, the Honey Badger's gone, right?
Gone.
I think it's. We talked about the Chiefs so much last year, and what we talked about was how NFL defenses went back to a concept from John Gruden, 1999, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the cover 2, or the Tampa 2, right?
Tampa 2.
And it worked because Mahomes just could not help himself. He just couldn't accept that he had to throw the ball 5 yards downfield. He couldn't.
He couldn't do it physically. Mentally, physically, nope.
And then for parts of some games towards the playoffs and stuff, he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that second half against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game,
what happened?
He couldn't do it. He went back to I can't do this.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying about that.
I want to see how this folds out to your whole point. This is beautiful.
I'm getting there, and I'm not trying to take too much time.
No. I know. I'm not.
here's how it goes. I think Andy Reid saw everything that I saw. And if he didn't see it in real time because he was all wrapped up in the games, he definitely saw it when he went back and watched that tape.
I definitely
I think that what I'm
called
saying
you
is
that
not
one night.
controversial, right? It's just what it
No.
just was evident to anyone who watches the film.
Absolutely.
So I think Andy Reid saw that. I think Andy Reid is a genius, a future Hall of Famer. And I think he's going to have developed some stuff this year to counteract the horse shit that fucked him up last year.
For sure.
I think this team wins 14 games going away.
Wow.
14-4, 14-3, whatever. Was it 17? 14-3.
Yeah, I get scared about getting myself caught up in that shit because it's just like the anti-Tom Brady thing.
Yeah.
It's almost a pro Mahomes thing. Like you always go, well, they can't do anything. They can't really be bad. They're going to be great all the time, forever. Yeah.
My only thing is only because he was kind of bad last year. I'm like, he ain't gonna be bad again. They're gonna put him in a situation where he's not bad again.
It's the whole Tyreek Hill thing. It's really thrown a is he like
he's incredible.
We need to now illustrate how valuable that cat was.
He's so
it's going to be
valuable.
illustrated twice a week, every week, in 2 different ways, 2 different palettes, 2 different canvases.
Yeah.
You're going to have Miami illustrate how valuable he is with Tua and the whole 9, and you're going to have KC and Patrick Mahomes illustrate how valuable he might not have been. And what do I have more confidence in? To me, it all comes down to the Tyreek Hill factor. Do I have more confidence in the fact that they bring in people like Juju and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and all of a sudden that is good enough to to make up for all that? Or do I think that he's so dynamic and so much better than either one of them that is it going to be? Because I'm telling you, those little scat runs, those little quick Johns for Mahomes and Tyreek Hill just does his shit. But let's not forget, Tyreek is not a bad go get it kind of cat.
No, he's actually deceptively strong.
Right. So I scratch my noggin on this. I would veer over for sure.
What's the line?
10.5.
Oh man,
minus 115, 10.5. Over. So under is did I not say this earlier? I'm sorry. Under 10.5 is minus 105. So they're definitely leaning a teeny bit on the juice on the over. Some of these teams, here's the thing. When we look, like, we could be a month into the season and be like, oh, how the hell do we not see that? But
last year with the Bengals, after
right,
one month, you were like,
because no one saw that coming. When they didn't take Penei Sewell, I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I thought Burrow was going to get murdered, and to some extent he did, actually. But he
took
worked
a beating,
his way through it.
But he's a tough motherfucker.
But Jamar Chase just worked his way out of everything. T. Higgins, who I loved and couldn't believe that he went here 2 years ago. I was like, anyway, that's getting off on the spiel. All right, so you're loving over 10.5.
It's probably going to be one of my picks. Let's keep going. I've got all my maybes here. It's probably going to be one of my picks.
Raiders. Bring a Devontae Adams in.
Sure.
I'm going to guess at, I think Vegas is going to tout them more than they should. I'm going to say, I would like to do, let's see if it's going to say an even pick.
What do you think?
I'll say,
not what you think it should be. What's Vegas say?
Yeah, because I think it should be at probably 9.5. I think Vegas is going to put them at 10.5.
Agreed. Agree on both.
Vegas has them at 8.5.
Okay.
Over 8.5, minus 115. Under at minus 105. And that's why the DWE works, ladies and gentlemen, because all of a sudden I go from saying I'm very fully prepared mentally to take the under on this.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I click a button and I think this might be a pick of mine. For them, they're saying that they will be not a 500, like under a 500 team.
Yeah.
8-9. And I don't know. I mean, they love playing for that coach out there. Ever since Gruden left, they love playing for him. The thing with the
Josh
Raiders,
McDaniels, right?
McDaniels. Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant the coach before that. Ever since they got rid of Gruden, they love playing for that coach. Now they have a new coach in McDaniels. They're going to love playing for him.
It was the old guy.
I forget his name off the top of my head.
He was really old, right?
They love, yeah. He was older. It wasn't like super, super old. Not like fucking Vic Fangio. I mean, Jesus. But
or Pete Carroll, who's like almost 80, I think.
Yeah, but good for him. He's, at least look your part. Vic's going to keel soon. But so the Raiders, they're going to love playing for McDaniel. After playing for that, they show heart. McDaniel's going to get them fired up. It's not going to be like the Broncos days where McDaniel was going in as a kid
Mhm.
McDaniels, I should say, now has his shit together.
Okay.
And they got in a big time. Look, I'm telling you, just clicking that line, all of a sudden I'm talking it. But here's the one thing that the Raiders even did with Gruden and coaches that shit the bed. It was always Derek Carr, a credible leader. Not the most talent in the world, but always is up there with passing yards, but an incredible leader. And as we talked about with Wentz and Murray before, Derek Carr is the total antithesis of
Opposite, yes.
the fucking players love him.
They
man.
love him.
Love to play for him and with him. And I can't imagine that Devontae Adams won't just burst under this cat. I know he always has burst. He's my favorite receiver in the league. I don't think he'll necessarily put up better numbers because I think A-Rod, even if you're not on board with that persona, that it's
incredibly accurate.
He's just so incredibly solid when it comes to how to be a robotic, perfect quarterback. That it just anyone could make it happen.
Yeah,
but
the ball is always exactly where it's supposed to be. It's ridiculous.
The Raiders bring the emotion, and you know what they always do? They always start off the year like shit, and what do they do at the end? They make the playoffs or something, or they're always in it. So I think honestly, and I don't mean to say it like that, I think it'd be dumb to take the under on this, just because I think the over would at least give you something to root for at the end of the year, because they're going to get hot, and they always get hot Thanksgiving and on. They win 4 of those games.
You're kind of talking me into it. I'm going to jot it down as a possibility.
I don't think it's going to make my 3, but I'm definitely on board with the over. Agreed. I wish we could do parlays.
If you had to be on one side, definitely the over for sure.
Big time. All right, let's see. Now, a lot of people also touting this team as maybe a possible Super Bowl contender. Los Angeles Chargers. They are now. I was telling you that everything's going to be at 0.5, and then I said, "Oh wait, no, it's not," because I picked right over the Rams, and it was the Chargers. They are at an even 10 on FanDuel over under wins. The over, however, minus 125. The under plus 105. Yeah, I'm just staying off of this 100%. Like,
look, they got Khalil Mack, and it's a big deal.
It was a big deal.
They really needed him, right? That's exactly who they needed. But is he Khalil Mack from 4 years ago? Probably not. I don't know if that's enough by itself. And then
it's crazy to say that, but yeah, you might be right. I mean,
it's
but
not,
it is though.
It's not a defense. They haven't been a lockdown defense, dude. They had a lot of trouble on that defense.
Yeah, scheme wise and everything might not fit.
Yeah, and also like it's the kind of offense where they're kind of high flying, and sometimes they strike really fast. And there's a lot of games where the defense just can't get off the field that much.
Yeah,
it's like the offense will go 3 and out. They'll go quick touchdown, then 3 and out. And it's like that's 5 drives that took no time. And it's like, you scored 14 points, but like the defense can't get off the field. Sometimes because the Chargers the last couple years with Herbert, who is fantastic, they keep getting beat in the fourth quarter.
Always cough it up all the time.
And it's not always him. But it's just it could be the defense, or it could be, but it's just tough. And yeah, I'm off of this one. 10 seems right. 10 seems right. 10 and 7.
Hey, bud, I want to apologize about something. I just went on DraftKings because I want to see what they had for wins on the next team we're going to talk about.
Talk to me.
And the DraftKings has a tab for alternate season wins.
Okay, great. So that's
now
fun.
it doesn't do it like by win, like it can't be like a spread where it's like minus 1.5, minus 2.5, minus 3.5, but they just give you like a couple options.
Okay, sure.
So it's something to look at. Like for instance, Rams.
Can you give me the one I really wanted was the Bears.
Bears, yeah. Let me do a little search piece.
See if they have it there.
They have for the Bears.
We're gonna do it live.
We're gonna do it live. Damn it! We gotta let me know. So we're gonna do it live. You say?
Do it live.
All right, fucking I. So the Bears, low regular season. How do I ever read this? Okay, low regular season wins.
Yeah,
is over 5.5. What do we even have it at? It was 5.5. See, this is weird. This is crazy. Under 5. Oh no, it's the same. Under 5.5 is plus 120. The alt one they give you is 7.5. You can, but the under 7.5 is minus 330.
Lame.
Yeah. So okay. So that's just a little sidebar.
Okay. That's on
Let's get
DK?
the reason why is because I wanted to just see what they had in general for this next team, because I might be talking about this team next week. The Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos regular season wins is at 9.5. The over is at -135. The under is at +115. I couldn't be more on the over, my friend.
What was it again? 9.5?
9.5 -135.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. They get an A+ for their offseason grade. I do like it. Wilson's just a winner. He's just good. If they want, it's a new coach too, right? If they wind up installing a system that requires him to run more, he'll do it. If they install a system that requires him to throw more shorter and mid-range passes, and he can't throw his deep ball as much because it's just not in the system, he'll do it. Right? He's just a winner. He takes what's there.
Fucking player.
He has
one of the best quarterbacks of our generation.
Absolutely, and largely because he has such tremendous vision, field vision. Right? He just sees. I mean, Peyton, I think Manning had the best field vision I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
But he's right there. I mean, he sees the whole thing, and I just think he's going to get the most out of these guys.
He's got Cortland Sutton healthy, I hope. If you heard from last week with one of my player props was him over 5.5 touchdowns.
Loved that prop.
I knew
and Judy, of course, as
Judy
well.
will be there, and then he got a 2 fucking headed monster in the backfield. But Javonte Williams, I fully believe, will become not only just the head of that monster, but he'll be I think a top 5 RB this year. That's saying something too, but.
It's a good team.
Russell Wilson's a winner. He's not going to go to the Denver Broncos, who I had winning the NFC West last year with Drew Lock. So when Russell Wilson's getting there, they're going to win fucking 10 games. To me,
it's a pretty good supporting.
I get
cast.
the division's a little rough,
and I guess we don't know anything really much about the coach, right?
No, but I think that bodes well for having someone like. Well, the reason why. The coach was in there and then said, I want Russell Wilson. And he was like, yes, I want to play with you. Like, that's a good start.
That's a good start. Right.
Cool. All right. AFC East. We're going to go to the overall consensus leader when it comes to odds for Super Bowl champion. That is the Buffalo Bills. We haven't done this in a bit. Woodman, where would you put the DWE at?
And they should be. They are rightly the consensus. They should.
I agree.
They have the most talent. They should.
They have arguably the most talent in general from even last year, but also the most everybody's coming back plus some.
Right. Plus James Cook, plus Von Miller, plus Shaq Lawson. Right. Yeah. So I'll say Vegas knows how good they are. I'll say they put them at 13.
Wow. 11.5.
Okay.
And over is -135, and under is +115. I'm not going to touch it. Just not going to touch it. I don't touch anything when it comes to favorites, like the odds on favorite when it comes to the NFL.
What was
season.
the 11.5 over? Was it plus?
-135.
Oh, it's minus.
Yeah. No, not interesting to me.
That's not interesting. I mean,
automatically you're saying 12-5. Like, absolutely.
If I put $135 in that, do I think I'm probably getting $100 at the end of the season? Yeah, I do. Is that a great bet? Nah.
Every game they lose, they're like shit.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Let's go on to the team that used to be like, when are these fuckers going to lose? New England Patriots. This is interesting here. This is actually, I did not know this. I just hit the drop down now. I was not prepared for an over-under of 8.5 for the Pats because they did make the playoffs last year, and everyone has lost multiple loads about their boy Mac Jones, which I still don't get, but okay. Not only that, but now he's actually doesn't look like a flabby bitch. Apparently put on some weight and made that poundage full of muscle, and everyone's all giddy. But nevertheless, wasn't a killer off season, a horrendous draft.
Yeah.
But you know how Bill Belichick does. Is he losing his mind? Is he slowly going insane? Or is it all still Bill Belichick's master plan? I don't know. 8.5 is a little low, though. It kind of shocked me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty low. And
over is -115, under -105. I don't know, man.
Gosh, that's so low that it makes me nervous.
Makes me nervous too. I would have
been way off if I was guessing that, and I don't like it. It makes me very nervous. I think I'm staying away.
Yeah, I'm staying away. Maybe one of the most interesting teams.
For sure.
I was about to say
I
the
will
next
say
team.
that within their own division, you have a team that I think is going to be
Well, we're
very,
doing it
very
right now.
good on top of the Bills, who are the best team probably in the
But this is
NFL.
where I'm heading. I was going to say
ahead.
that this is the most. This is what I was saying was one of the more interesting teams, led by a fellow that we both love, the Miami Dolphins. I'm assuming that was the squad you were hinting at.
On top of the Bills, who I think will probably kick the shit out of the Patriots twice.
Maybe the Dolphins too, but
And maybe
if
the
they
Dolphins
don't,
too. So that's
the Dolphins
4
can beat the
losses
Bills
right there.
once.
You know what, dude? I'm kind of talking myself into for fun. It would be fun to take that Patriots under. I don't think I'm going to do it.
It might be fun though. You're right. That could be fun.
But
What do
I
you
don't
think?
think I can do it.
What do you think the over under is for the Dolphins though?
I think it's about the same. I think it's about 8.5.
You're 1,000% correct, and beautiful job by you. However, the over is minus 135.
Nah.
Under plus 115.
I say
I love
I'd
the
have been on
players
the
the
over,
Dolphins.
but I don't want to play minus. I don't want to pay.
Not playing that game because I love the Dolphins, but Tua, and we love Tua, but
Of course.
you just give me some proof here. And I'm not putting any money on it right now. Can't do
Yeah,
that
he
with
needs
him.
to show us, and I think with he's got really good weapons, right? Gesicki, Tyreek, and Waddle. That's a
my boy.
Great start, right?
Yeah.
And then they signed, oddly, this is very rare, 3 running backs who their names. You listener, you know their names. They signed all 3 of them as free agents: Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel, and Mostert. Now, I'm not a big Mostert guy, but
how about that? Yeah.
But Edmonds and Michel can be very good players in the right roles, and I think there'll be plenty of opportunity for these guys to show that they can be healthy and go out there and contribute, and really lead a very balanced attack. That's a very dynamic backfield with a very, very dynamic receiving core. If Tua is, able to get a little bit of time from his offensive line, I think he's in for a monster year. I mean,
big time.
Maybe we'll get to that next week. Maybe I'll look at some props.
Yeah, totally. I'll tell you what, something that's just coming off the page to me here. First of all, we're going on to the New York Jets right now, and their over under is at 5.5. But the interesting thing is that the over is minus 135 and the under is plus 115. And I'm a gambler, so the plus symbol gets me going way more than the minus symbol.
I know, buddy.
And I like to pick my points. But this is one that I like the plus on, the under 5.5. And here's another reason why. I go to our little article here about the key additions and the key losses, okay? They didn't lose anybody that was really key because they didn't fucking have anybody. But their key additions are all their draft picks. So that is that's a sign to me. Whoa, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, fucking Breece Hall, fucking Jermaine Johnson. Yeah, great draft. Good job, guys. But that's your key additions.
Yeah.
It's your draft picks.
Yeah.
So what does that say to me? They're not all just going to come. They didn't all just fucking come from one school. They don't know each other. It just doesn't work like that.
No.
Robert Saleh already looks like he's losing his fucking mind on the sidelines.
Most rookies aren't Justin Jefferson.
No, big time. But even if one of these guys are, the other 3 aren't. They're not. It's not like signing a 4 or 5, 6 year veteran that can come help your squad. These guys should help.
And here's the thing: even
Zach Wilson's already hurt.
It was such a bad team that even if they were all pretty good, I'm not sure it gets you to 6 wins.
Yeah, man. I got to really look into who I'm going to pick as the team for the least amount of wins next year. But this Jets under 5.5, I think, looks a little tasty.
Okay, interesting.
All right, let's go to the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens. DWE this one. This is an interesting one. I haven't clicked on it yet. I'm going to wait till you say before I click on it.
So they lost only really Hollywood Brown, right? And they didn't really gain anyone of note, I don't think.
You want to look at that again?
But
they gained Kyle Hamilton, my boy, but he's looked like shit, by the way.
Okay. Geez, man, it's tough, right? Okay.
Let's both take a shot at this together.
Yeah, 9 wins.
Yeah, I was going to say 9.5. 9.5 was going to be mine.
Okay.
It's 10.5.
Okay.
with the over at even money, so a little plus on that, plus 100, and the under at minus 120.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not touching it. I would lean the over, actually. I know that Marquise is gone, but anybody with John Harbaugh coach and still, you know what? Here's my thing. I'll talk about it next week. Fuck it.
Well, getting those running backs back
Lamar's on a
healthy is
contract year.
almost like a addition, right? Because
Lamar's on a
last year they
contract
went into the year without Gus Edwards, without J.K. Dobbins, and now they have them.
Yeah.
Are they both healthy, as far as you know?
As far as I know. Yeah.
So it's almost like two additions.
I think it's
right?
J.K.'s John, though. Yeah. I don't think Gus is
I think he
what
could
Gus
be a very,
was 2
very
years
special
ago.
player. J.K.
Yeah,
Dobbins.
I don't think it's like the Gus of 3 years ago trying to spike out any kind of
I think Dobbins could be
rando
really
games.
very, very good.
Big time. All right. So that's Ravens. I lean over, but it won't be a pick of mine.
It's not a pick of mine. I'm off it.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. The team I picked to be the worst team in the league last year happened to lose in the Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals. Over under is 9.5. Woodman, with the over being significant on the juice at minus 130, the under being plus 110. They just went to the Super Bowl. Shouldn't they win 10 goddamn games? Vegas is kind of saying, yeah, probably, but I don't know. I think I like the under here.
I don't. I'm off it. I think it's just right, and I'm off it. That
All
feels exactly right to me. Little fun stat for you here in this blurb. I don't know if you can see it. Joe Burrow was sacked 70 times in 20 games.
Well, guess what? That's because they didn't get Penei Sewell, but they still went to the Super Bowl.
Well,
If Joe Burrow gets hurt for good, this is a great call. And what's
they
the
did
thing
add,
that he won't?
In fairness, 3 really good offensive linemen this year in free agency. So
Okay, well there you go. Well then they just went to the Super Bowl and lost, and then they addressed exactly what they needed. So
they addressed the one thing they needed.
All right, I'm off of that officially.
I'm off. I don't like it. I don't want to over. I don't want to under. I'm not.
Now, shout out to your lovely wife. This team perpetually drives me fucking insane because every year I root for them to shit the bed, and every year I think that they will, and somehow, because of fantastic coaching, I think we could all agree on, but somehow they could get them. I mean, I know Big Ben's been there for a while, but he wasn't really good for a while at the end. But
no, he wasn't.
The Steelers over under. Okay, I just clicked on it. Holy hell! I think this might be free money. This might be a pick of mine. Steelers over under. Woodman, what do you think it is?
I mean, you just can't put them any lower. There's only so low you can push it, right? If it's, I guess Vegas is looking at Trubisky and they're like, he just can't play. I'm gonna guess they put him at 7.5.
They put him at 7.5. Woodman.
Yeah.
Great call. Now here's the thing.
And
It's only minus.
I'll be on the over there.
I'm on the over. Minus 105 on the over. So almost even money. Minus 115 on the under. So they're veering the under. But here's the thing. It just, maybe they do just fucking, I don't know, fall into the ocean. I'm just trying to think while I talk here. I can't bet this under. And I just don't like the team, the organization. But if I do bet this, it's going to be an over because they just find a way perpetually to not only win enough games to cover this, but to always fight for a playoff spot, contend for the AFC North
always,
every year. Now, do I make a bet on them on the over, and will that make them shit the bed constantly for the year? Then maybe it's worth making that bet. I don't know, but I'm not chalking this up to a Trubisky here. I don't think he plays 5 games.
No, agreed.
Pickett's look great. And the people there are going to clamor. And I think there's a way that kid can scrap in accordance with Trubisky to 8 games. That's, I don't know, 8 and 9 now. That means they're almost a 500 team. I'm out. I can't do it.
I'm probably going to be on the over, but we'll see.
I can't do it because the half makes so much difference. That means you need 8. And that means that they're barely under 500.
But here's the thing: it's such a good defense.
I know,
it's
but
a
I can't.
Fantastic defense, dude. Minka Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt. I mean,
T.J. Watt. I can't do it.
Oh, dude, you're really and honestly, I think this Pickett kid could come in and he could have a couple bad games, a couple really good games, and
And they got one of my favorite wideouts too, George Pickens. I love him, but
And Deontay Johnson's awesome. He's so good. I even like
can't.
I like Freiermuth. I like their tight end. You're not a huge fan of Najee Harris, but he sure had a good rookie year.
No, I am a fan.
Oh, you are.
I just didn't think that he was going to go crazy. I didn't think he was going to be as impressive, dude. Roll Tide. I'm a big Najee Harris fan.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's stupendous. I actually have him as a possible dark horse to lead the league in rushing this year.
Could be,
but that was almost. By the way, was
I'm gonna be on this over. I think this is gonna be one of my picks. Well, you said it was Steelers over 7.5 wins is 105.
Steelers over 7.5 wins is minus 105. Yeah, minus 105.
It might be one of my picks.
Yeah, that's not bad. On last week's player prop, Spesh.
Yes.
I had the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick for over rushing. It was him or Najee was the other one I was thinking on prop. And I still might put money on that. But let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. What a fucking dumpster fire. I don't fucking know what this is going to say. Let's click it and just get it over with.
Who's the quarterback going to be?
Well, if it's not Watson,
it's not Watson. He was suspended for almost the whole year. Now, right? Yeah, basically darn near all the whole year.
Fuck, dude. I don't even... What the hell was his name? It just fucking played against the Eagles.
Some jackass, right?
Well, it wasn't Nick Mullins. They just fucking traded him. Who's the Cleveland Browns quarterback now? Who's throwing to Amari Cooper? Look out. Oh, Jacoby Brissett. That's right. And then Josh Dobbs and Josh Rosen. Like, it's just a bunch of just dreck.
Oh, if it's going to be Brissett, first of all, if it's going to be Brissett, then you've got there's a good prop bet for you. Bet on Nick Chubb to lead the league in rushing.
Well, I'll tell you, no, because I think everyone's going to be looking for that. Cleveland Browns over-under wins. Now, this is a joke, obviously. It's got to be. Is at 8.5. Now, here's the thing, though. Don't even worry about this. Don't even worry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Right? This is off script. Just don't worry about it, because I saw this a while ago. Oh, you know what? This was before the verdict came down on. No, it still is. Oh, my God. Oh, no, that's to make. Where's to miss? Okay, they had FanDuel, that is. It's not here right now. To make the playoffs, the Browns are at plus 100. But to miss the playoffs, they were at minus 110. That, if I can find that again, I have to pounce like a motherfucker, because they're not making the playoffs. That's ridiculous.
No, of course not. It's ludicrous.
It totally is. But they're at 8.5. Over 8.5 is plus 135. Unders minus 160. That minus 160 is probably money well spent. Because if they get over 8.5, that means they're an above 500 team. They're not an above 500 team. I don't give a fuck.
There's no.
Is this going to be the team that goes to the goddamn Super Bowl when I'm? No, there's no fuck.
There is a 0% chance that this team goes to the Super Bowl.
You ain't kidding. All right, let's move on. We still have 2 more fucking divisions.
Okay.
No, we don't. We have 1 more division.
Just one more, yeah.
All right, here we go.
But then we're going to take another hour.
Exactly. Do our MLB picks. AFC South, Tennessee Titans. What do you say here, Woody? This would be interesting from you.
Yeah, this would be interesting for me, because this is a team that I've been...
1 seed 2 years ago, and then
they were...
was that last year?
No, last year they had the bye.
Yeah, and the year before that they got to the AFC Championship.
Correct. And both times I was screaming that they were a fraud the entire time, the whole season, postseason, every time.
Let's see.
And look, it's a high school offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's built around one superhuman person he breaks every rule that there is. There's nothing. I don't know what to do with someone like Derrick Henry. I don't know how to analyze something like that. It's just like this.
Not a real person. Not a real body.
It's not a real person. Like, it feels like it's a force of nature or something. And I'm insane. Trying to analyze how that plays into football.
It's insane.
He can't keep doing the workload that he was doing. He's going to keep
Maybe
breaking.
he can this year.
I don't think so. He'll keep breaking. It's just the human body wasn't meant to take those kind of hits over and over and over again.
Crazy.
And it's not for lack of muscle or strength, dude. Like, it's just his bones. Like, that's what happened to him, right? It was his foot. Like, you just can't take that kind of pounding.
There's too much hair.
And I also I believe we've seen enough now from the coach, right? I think,
yeah, for sure.
I think we had, a lot of us had a thought in our head, like, oh, boy, this guy really gets it. Like, he's leader of men. He's playing to his team's strengths. in the playoffs. Is that what you saw? I don't think so, right? So I think I've seen enough. I'm going to call it. I say Vegas can say what they want to, but I'll probably be on the under. I'm going to guess they're going to say something like 10.
Okay, not bad at all. At 9.5, the over though is plus 115. Under is minus 135.
So I don't love that minus 135.
All these reports coming out of the camp. Oh, everyone thought Tennessee was in doldrums because they, what Tannehill said when they drafted the cat from Liberty and all that. Listen,
Malik
they're
Willis.
not going to be a good team this year. I'm sorry. I actually like the under, but I didn't want the minus 135 there. But not going to be a pick of mine because of the juice.
Correct.
I would take the under.
I like the under, but I don't like the juice, so I'm not going to take it.
Another team that's going to be super interesting is the Indianapolis Colts. This one, I think I might be on a lot now that I see it. Oh, let me jot it down. Over under Woodman is 9.5. Now listen. Over 9.5 is minus 160. Under 9.5 plus 135. Yes, get the pen out. Matty
Colts
Ice. They got a great defense. They have a tremendous line on both sides. I get it. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Matty Ice is 40 and has been bad for what? 4 years.
The Carson experiment. Honestly, look, after everything we said about Carson, I might even rather have him than Matt Ryan. But
I actually think it's not. I'll say this. I'll put it this way. It's not an upgrade.
Not an upgrade, but it's the Jonathan Taylor effect right now. It's the JTE.
He's very good.
Where everyone just thinks that he's not. Look, I loved him coming out. I loved him. I picked him so early in the one draft that I had at my work league. And they were like, what are you doing? And then I was like, watch. And he did it. And then last year I was like, oh, give me him again. And he went off. And now he's tremendous. But he was so transcendent last year that everyone's putting him as the team. And it's just not like that.
Yeah.
It's not. You got to give time for what it was like. It was like a halftime adjustments, except it's another season adjustments. Everyone is going to adjust to this cat. Matt Ryan's not an upgrade. I'm sorry. Just isn't.
No.
I really like this under at plus 135. I mean, Frank Reich has to feel a little fire on his taint because of how that shit fell apart last year. And you had your boy. You were the one that told us to bring in Carson. It didn't work out. Now we have Matt Ryan, who everyone thinks is Matt Ryan. He's like 46. Okay.
Yeah.
You think? Let me just say this right now. You think you saw Carson throw some weird ass interceptions? Wait till this year. Okay. I'm taking Colts under 9.5. I have 4 picks right now that I like. I'm going to narrow it down to my top 3, but we still have a couple teams to go. Woodman, you on board with that one?
Very much so. Love it.
A couple teams that I don't even think that I can get a grasp on, so I'm probably not even going to fucking try. But it's the Texans, Houston Texans, over under at 4.5. I mean, even FanDuel has no idea. They're like minus 110 both sides. That's 4.5. Do you think they'll win 5 games?
4.5 seems correct to me. So
personally, I think they win 5 games.
Yeah,
but I think they may win exactly 5.
Yeah,
not interested.
No, I don't bet that.
This team might be a little bit more interesting to talk about. Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, over under. Fuck! What a weird number. 6.5. What I need to look at that is okay. Over 6.5 means 7. That means a 7-10 team. Is Jaguars going to go ahead and get to 7 wins? Doug Peterson, better coach. They got rid of all that shit last year. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than what he's shown. I just don't think he's a really good NFL quarterback. They brought in Christian Kirk, who actually got a little bit dinged up, but he should be healthy for the year. The only saving grace to me taking the over for this, I will talk about next week. But I'm not saying I'm taking the over. There's only one reason why I would think to take the over, and I will talk about it next week. Actually, no, scratch that. I won't talk about it next week because the NFL, as I looked into it, is a little odd. I was going to take Travis Etienne as the offensive rookie of the year this year, but he's not even on the, for lack of a better term, ballot because technically, I guess he's not a rookie.
Eligible.
Because, I mean, he didn't play at all last year. He got hurt in preseason, but I guess he's a second-year player. He's not actually a rookie. I love Etienne going into this season.
Sure.
I think he's going to be I don't think Robinson's going to have a role. He'll be dropped in teams week 2, week 3, but it's not
He'd
enough
be
to
like
give
the
me the
goal
over.
line guy or something, maybe.
Maybe, but
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy, and if we want to talk about your Najee and stuff like that, and he'll come out hot. But the over on 6.5 would be my only play, but I don't like it enough to even the plus 115. You're not
I don't
talking me
love
into
it.
that.
I don't love it. I'm gonna stay away here.
How about that? Well, that'll wrap it up for every team, dude. Only
All right.
$1.35 we're at now.
We need to narrow down to our 3, though.
Yeah, I have 4, and I got to narrow it down to 3. So, would you like to go? Just do your 3
I'll
real
do my
quick.
most confident. I'll give you my most confident right off the bat.
Okay.
By far, my most confident is that Lions. The Lions under 6.5. And I get plus money on that, I believe.
Yeah, all mine are plus money. That's how you know this is going to be a fucking shit fest when we look back at it during the year. I think my favorite is Green Bay at under 10.5.
Wow.
At plus 135. I'm really confident in that one. That's my number one, Green Bay. Under 10.5 at plus 135.
Okay. Wow. I'll take the Steelers over 7.5 at minus 105.
I love it. I like how we're going in different directions here. Give me another under in the same division. Bears under 5.5 at plus 125.
It's a fine pick.
I'll take that as well.
All right. And for my third and final, just to give an over because it's fun, I'll take that Chiefs over. I think the Chiefs win 10.5.
Yeah.
Over 10.5. I like it. I think their defense gets a bad rap and is pretty damn good. And I think Andy Reid's a goddamn Hall of Fame coach. And
look at you.
Pat Mahomes is a Hall of Fame quarterback. They'll put it together. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out what they got to do, and they'll get to 11 wins.
From one Hall of Fame coach to another, Dennis Allen of the New Orleans Saints. But I'll take the New Orleans Saints. I'll take the over 8.5 wins. T on Twitter. I'm with you, Bubba. New Orleans Saints over 8.5 at plus 105. Just too much firepower. Even if Kamara gets suspended for the weird shit he's been doing, I just think that they're going to have enough. And they got the Honey Badgers back there now. They didn't just shit the bed on the defense in free agency. So I think they're an above 500 team. And in the state of the NFL now, that you're talking that 17 games, you're talking a 9-win team. I think they might literally go 9-8 or 10-7. But I'll take the plus 105.
Okay. Just to repeat mine, I've got the Steelers over 7.5, the Chiefs over 10.5, and the Lions under 6.5. And I will give you guys 2 honorable mentions, which I circled, but I'm not, I only can make 3 here. But the Eagles under 9.5 feels safe, and the Colts under 9.5 feels pretty safe, and it gives a plus number as well, so that's pretty sweet.
I like it. I don't have any honorable mentions because my only one, I said I had 4. My other one was the Colts.
Right, you already said, yeah, that's right. So,
yep. So giddy up to that. All right, that was fun, man. NFL teams over under for every team for the 2022 season. I would like to. I might revisit. Like I don't normally listen back to shows. I might listen back to this one in like March next year.
Let's do another hour, and we can just go over things here.
You're the one that actually has to like get up for work. I mean, I work here.
What time?
You got to go somewhere.
What's honest? Tell me the truth. What time your kids are going to wake you up?
Like 7, between 7 and 7:15. You jerk off. All right, so
I'll be up at 7 too. It's okay.
Giddy up. We're not just gonna end it though because we have to do one quick Major League Baseball pick. We've been doing quick. Well, and you need to fucking make up because. Just because now you're here. When you're here and speaking and people can see you, you do pretty damn good. When you just text me on a whim,
it doesn't go well.
I know I'm not on the show. Let me just send you 3 picks. Whoopsie. Yeah. I was on the show and I gave 1 pick and giddy up to that.
Well played.
Let's go ahead and do 2-0.
Yeah.
All right. Woodman as always, leading off and playing center field. It's the Woodman David Woody with his only pick of the week, I hope.
It is the only one. I will do Phillies Reds under 8.5.
Beautiful.
It's minus 110.
Who's tapping that mound?
So it's a couple of nobodies.
Oh, it is.
It is.
And you're taking the under.
I am still taking the under. Yeah, both teams have really, really not been hitting. Look at the number. Both teams are not hitting. The Reds haven't hit on the road this whole year. And the Phillies have not been hitting at home or on the road very much. Like on the road, kind of like not really, and at home, not at all lately. So both teams not hitting. And then here's the other fun part. This is a little fun stat for you, Bo.
All right.
The under has cashed in 10 of the last 14 Philly games.
How about that? Well, make it 10 of the last 15 because tonight the game finished 7-6, but still.
All the more reason.
Exactly.
They got
correct.
it out of their system.
I was
tomorrow,
about to sway that way.
Totally. That makes you feel even better. Good.
That's the smartest thing of the night.
Big time. Thank
Phillies
you,
Reds under 8.5. I would have took this, by the way, if it was 7.5. I still would have took it.
Wow.
There's not going to be runs. They can't score. These teams
I love
are
the
not
Woodman
hitting.
being back in person doing the picks. Me, on the other hand, let's go back and see if I can make 2 in a row here for my only MLB pick. Oh, geez.
Give it to me hard.
You knew what you were doing there, Woodman. I will give it to you with fistful of vengeance if that's how you like it. Any Germans out there? The Astros -1.5 run line versus the Twins. So the run line will get you +105. Actually, I think I just saw it change to -105, which is okay. It's -105 now. So it's being bet. Astros -1.5 run line is now -105. I'll update that accordingly. Framber Valdez is out there tapping the mound. This dude is crazy hot for the Stros. Let's put it this way. 20 straight quality starts for this gentleman. He has made 23 starts on the year, and 21 of them in total have been quality starts. 20 straight quality starts.
Wow.
Which means 6 innings of 3 earned runs or less. Now,
this guy thinks he's Tom Glavine.
How about that? Dylan Bundy doesn't for the Twins. You know why? He hasn't had a quality start
since
in
2009.
In 2 months. Literally. June 24th. 2 months from when we recorded this podcast was that cat's last quality start. Oh, and he's on the road. What's this cat's ERA on the road? 5.91.
Wow.
Sniffing a 6-piece. On the road against the Astros? Also,
Hitters Park. Good
Park.
Offense.
Oh, so glad you said that. Hitters Park. On YouTube. Watch me. Twins line up. Astros line up.
Yeah. Not the same. Not the same.
All right. And even fucking Correa, who came from the Astros to go to the Twins, not pulling his weight.
No. Sounds tough here.
So, and then if you want to go through the Astros lineup, boom, 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 boom. This one's easy peasy for me. The money lines, I'm not paying that juice. Give me the run line, almost even money. I thought I got it at I did get it on a plus. I took it prior to the show, but now it's -105. So, giddy up to that.
Oh, good for you.
Hey, man, got to get the picks when they're hot. That's all. But, so that'll do it for the show. Oh, wait, will it? As we keep going on the marathon. One more thing. What did we premiere last week on the show? Another thing we need kind of a musical intro on. I'm not sure horns would do it. Maybe like whoopee cushions. But it is the hashtag Fade Marinara segment, as our boy Muscles Marinara Russell was on the show. And we came up with this idea because he said every time I make a bet, it's the opposite. For the most part, when he does on the whim bets, just bet the opposite. He goes, no, this one's going to win because of this. And it never does. So last week, he said the Rays are obviously going to beat the Royals at home. Royals money line +180. Cash that for the Jump the Sharp followers, ladies and gentlemen. So we faded Marinara and we made money.
Hey,
this guy must have an agenda because here's the Fade Marinara for this week.
What's he?
Diamondbacks money line -120 is what he is picking. At the Royals, he says. Oh, he's picking on the Royals. Well, he's not picking. I guess he is. This dude has an agenda against the Royals. Zach Gallen starting for the D-backs. 0 earned runs in his last 3 starts. 6 wins in his last 6 starts. He says, why won't this win? Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Fade Marinara. Royals money line again. Let's go ahead and see what we're looking at on that. The Royals money line +110. All right. I think even Vegas is like, I think Marinara, they just heard about that and they updated it quickly. +110. Royals money line is officially
I'm doing it. Here it comes.
Hashtag fade marinara pick.
I know.
Let's see if we can get to 2-0 next week. Sorry, Russ. I guess we're kind of rooting against them in some sick way. But we appreciate you, Bubba. We appreciate everybody that's listening to the show. Once again, if you're listening on a podcast, give a nice little review where you can. If you're watching on YouTube, fucking A. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
For sure.
And send a like on that bad boy. Leave a comment. It'd be so cool. Definitely subscribe, please. It help us out a lot. And as always, on Twitter at Jump the Sharp. Woodman, we've been here a little bit, and I'm sure you got something else to say just on the way out here because you have carried the show so briskly, and I love you for it. But it's good to have you back. What do you want to say on the way out the door?
Well, just that I'm looking forward to another successful NFL season, and I think that some of these picks tonight are definitely going to hit because you and I just have a good sense of the NFL. It's our favorite to bet, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yeah, we had a great time. And hey, don't forget, what is America drinking? What is the world drinking? Let us know in the comments as well. Cheers to everybody out there. That's Hollywood. That's Woody. I'm Hollywood. Peace the fuck out.